The biblical solution for laziness. Laziness. Activities of lazy people. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 9. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 24. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is man's precious possession. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 27. A lazy man buries his head in the bowl and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 24. The desire of the lazy man kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 25. The lazy man says, "There is a lion outside, shall be slain in the streets." Proverbs chapter 22, verse 13. I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man devoid of understanding, and there it was, all overgrown with thorns. Its surface was covered with nettles. Its stone wall was broken down. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 30 and 31. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Proverbs 24, verse 33. The lazy man says, "There is a lion in the road. A fierce lion is in the streets." As a door turns on its hinges, so does the lazy man on his bed. The lazy man buries his head in the bowl. It wearies him to bring it back to his mouth. The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 13 to 16. And besides, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but also gossips and busybodies, saying things which they ought not. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 13. the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 13 to 27. The consequences of laziness. He who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 24. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is man's precious possession. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 27. The soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 4. The way of the lazy man is like a hedge of thorns, but the way of the upright is a highway. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 19. Laziness casts one into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 15. So shall your poverty come like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 34. Because of laziness, the building decays, and through idleness of hands, the house leaks. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 18. Persuasion to lazy persons. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways are and be wise. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from sleep? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6 and to 9. Penalties for laziness. But his Lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore, take the talent from him, and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Matthew chapter 25, verses from 26 to 30.
Worship is not laziness.
And you shall lay on them and a coat of bricks which they made before. You shall not reduce it, for they are idle. Therefore they cry out, saying, Let us go and sacrifice to our God. Exodus chapter 5, verse 8. But he said, You are idle, idle. Therefore you say, Let us go and sacrifice to the Lord. Exodus chapter 5, verse 17. Our Heavenly Father, we praise you and thank you for this wonderful day. So we have just spent in your feet a few minutes. We have seen what is the importance of laziness. According to Bible, you have clarified the clear-cut idea of lazy people, especially all the